Okay, so we're going to go through a clean block pull. So all this is we are going to use a clean grip, which is obviously just outside the shoulder or in line with the shoulder. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up either a box or, like I've done here, an upright at about knee height. So the reason for this is obviously this is going to be a hang clean pull from blocks. A lot of words there. Obviously, Olympic lifting has a lot of different positions and a lot of different things to work on. So the block pull is essentially pulling the bar from the block, and the hang position is around this position at the knee. So what we're looking for in terms of technique is we're looking for vertical shins. So we want vertical shins and we want the hips to be nice and far back. Another key is that shoulders should be sat in front of the bar. And what we'll do is I'll probably have a look at some full reps that I've got just to demonstrate how this position looks in a full clean. Or in fact, I might just pull up an actual weightlifter rather than me. So this is the start position that we're looking for. The bar is touching the rack. We're not holding on to it, as in it's not suspended in the air. And what we're going to do from here is essentially we're going to pull the bar up by pushing the hips through and brushing the bar. So we're trying to think about jumping upwards to brush the bar up on our hips and pull the bar nice and high. So first of all, we're going to do some high pulls. We're going to do 3 reps of high pulls. And this is what a high pull will look like. We're going to brush the bar up and we're going to pull the bar up towards our face. The power is coming from the hips. It's not coming from the pull of the arms. Obviously, I want this to be a weight where you need to use the arms. And also another key is we're triple extending. This is a good freeze frame here to see. Triple extension means that we are extending at the ankles, we are extending at the knees, and we are extending at the hips, similar to how we jump. And obviously we're coming into this very upright and slightly lean back posture. And what I'm trying to do is where the bar contacts my hips, I'm trying to pull that up in a nice straight line. So we're going to do a couple of these just to warm us up and potentiate the movement and understand what we're trying to achieve. Obviously, what you can think about is that we're trying to catch the bar. So what that requires is for the bar to come up in a nice straight fashion where we can catch the bar in this position. My catch position here isn't great. That's simply because I've dislocated my finger recently. I was feeling quite immobile because it was an upper body session, so I was quite wedged from that. But this is obviously what we're trying to achieve is that catch position, and we're just trying to pull the bar, pushing the hips through and achieving that triple extension position. There we go. So now for the actual pulls, what we'll end up doing is something that looks like this. Obviously, once the weight gets up, it's more difficult to pull the bar high, obviously, because there is an element of the arms moving. But when you're trying to get to a point where you can pull the bar up to about your belly button. So it should be nice and heavy, nice and powerful. And what I'm going to do now is just show you it from the front. Okay, so from the front, this is exactly the same setup as I had before. All the bar's going to be doing is we have our feet in the jump position as well. This is quite a key point here. We want our feet to be about in line with our hips, what's called a jump position. So in a similar sort of stance as we would if we were trying to jump. Because obviously all Olympic weightlifting is jumping with a bar in a controlled and sort of restricted manner. Shins stay vertical, and what you can see what I'm doing is I'm brushing the bar up my hips, making contact, and then pulling that bar up. So I'm not trying to shag the bar by pushing it up and away, so it's best to see this on the side. Yeah, it's not a shag of the bar. I'm not trying to take the bar to pound town. It's like, okay, brush it up my hips, and then my hips sort of aid by pushing it in an upwards motion. So I'm not pulling the bar out, the bar is pushing upwards. That's really, really key for Olympic weightlifting and good technique. So we'll go through sort of what this is going to teach now. So what we can see here is a full slow motion clean. This is obviously from a professional weightlifter. So what we're going to do is just fast forward. So this is similar to the starting position that we're going to be looking for from the block clean. And all we're going to look to do, obviously, as we did before, is that brush up, because this is obviously where we then are going to get that triple extension. As you can see, he jumps into the air with the bar leaning back. Obviously, this is a super heavy weight, so this is why technique's very accentuated. And then catching that bar underneath. So what we're sort of looking to do is mimic this. Let's pull the bar up, brush it with our hips, and get it moving upwards. And then catching that bar. But obviously we are just focusing on purely this motion here, which is pulling up, brush up, catch it with the hips, and jumping.